Osu is a game with a variety of beat maps. There are maps that are straightforward, maps that are brutal, maps that are complex, and much more. But on top of all of them, I can only see one. The map I'm talking about is called Broken, and it's the most underrated beat map of all time. But Spark, isn't this a bit too extreme? There are certainly maps that are better, right? Well, maybe. So, see, for the longest time, since I started playing this game, there was a certain beat map that stood on the very top. I think some of you might know it. I'm talking about the Big Black. Okay, before you argue about my bad taste, let me explain. In my eyes, the Big Black is much more than just a map. For me, it represents Osu as a whole. People love it, people hate it. Some think it's the worst map, some think it's the best. But I think everyone will agree with me when I say that it's the most well-known song on Osu. Even a lot of people that don't play Osu seem to know one song when you speak of the game. That song being the Big Black. Well, I digressed a little. What I wanted to say is that Broken seems to be the map that will finally dethrone the Big Black as my favorite map of all time. If you have already listened to it, you might have noticed that the rhythm of this song is rather complex, and there is a lot of variance. This will help in creating a beat map that doesn't feel monotone to play, and Azonite took that to a ridiculous extreme. Broken starts off slow by having a rather long intro. Around a minute is when it slowly picks up the pace before coming to the chorus. And holy sh*, does the chorus slap once the drop kicks in. This is when you will face the bread and butter of Broken. In fact, the chorus is so difficult, you need an unfathomable amount of consistency or retries to be able to hold a combo. When the first chorus comes to an end, you get a bit of a downtime until the second one ignites. And this one builds pretty much on the themes of the first one, but makes them way harder to get an FC on. Calculating nerfs into the amount of consistency needed to not have a single miss, I think it is quite understandable why there are no more than 2 FCs, despite the map being ranked for over a year. You see, patterns in Broken aren't randomly slapped onto the screen. They're beautifully crafted so that each pattern distinguishes itself enough from the previous one and thus feels different to play every time again. I will give you those 5-note bursts as a good example. These are usually split into 2 parts. The first part, which consists of the first 2 circles, and the second part, that is the other 3. By splitting it up like this, he managed to sync the beat map to the song to near perfection. Every time such a split burst occurs, there is nothing weird about it while playing. It feels natural, even when they look really scuffed at times. Spoiler, this is still a really difficult beat map and definitely way too hard for being only 6 stars. I just want to give a quick shout out to the back and forth bursts. Not only are they exceptionally hard to play, but they do their part at decreasing the consistency levels needed for an FC. I wish you the best of luck playing those. I think you can categorize Broken pretty well into the tech section of beat maps, but even among them, it stands out as there is not a single pattern that feels forced or unnecessary. Parts like those. When the circles and sliders placed match the song in perfection are a reason why I love this map so much. The first time I played this map was right around its release. Back then, Azonite gave me his newly created map that wasn't finished, like every other Azonite map, and I immediately noticed that this map was something else. Unfortunately though, I wasn't really able to play this map well as I was a jump player DT one trick. Somewhere in early 2020, I stumbled upon Broken again while spamming F2 in hopes of finding a good map. Seeing it ranked all of a sudden, I decided to jump into it as I was at a point where I was somewhat able to play it decently. Giving it a few tries every now and then, but not being able to hold a combo, I quickly gave up on it and let it slip my mind for the time being. It is now March of 2021, and as of recently, I started to do full combo attempts. I was pretty close now twice, but sadly I still have ways to go until I can get the FC. But while I was playing Broken, it just now struck me how good it really is. This probably has something to do with me now actually being able to enjoy Broken to its fullest extent, as I can hit the more difficult parts consistently, but that doesn't make it any less impressive. Moving on to the creator, I really wanted to mention Azonite here. This dude. He's been a mapper for a long time now. Might not surprise you after seeing Broken, but it's not just Broken. He has a couple of maps that I would easily rank into S tier maps, like Portrait of the Pirate F, Abyss, Sono Nega Iwa Tsuminaraba, and many more. Sorry for slaughtering the name. Whenever he sits down and starts a map, you know you're about to get hit with something magnificent. That is, if he actually finishes it. With all that said and done, I think there is little discussion for me, as this will be my new favorite map for the time being. I still love the Big Black, don't get me wrong, and it will be forever nostalgic to see it. But this is goodbye. If you have stayed for this long, I certainly hope you enjoyed this journey. Be sure to leave a beat map you think deserves its own video in the comments below. Give this video a like or a dislike to boost up the algorithm, and be sure to subscribe for more also related content. Until then, see you next time.